Do you have any idea who my father is? He could have you removed from this bench with one phone call. Those words hang in the air like poison. The woman who just said them stands in Providence Municipal Court. Her arms are crossed. Her designer sunglasses sit on top of her head. A Prada purse dangles from her elbow. Her outfit probably costs more than the court reporter makes in 2 weeks. This is 26-year-old Vanessa Hartwell. And yes, her father is Police Chief Robert Hartwell, the man who oversees every cop in the city. The man whose office is 3 blocks from this courthouse. The man whose voice carries weight in every city council meeting. But none of that matters right now, because she's standing in front of Judge Frank Caprio. And in his courtroom, there's only one kind of power that counts. The kind that comes from the law, not from who your daddy is. If you believe justice should be equal for everyone, no matter who their parents are, you'll want to see what happens next. Because what Judge Caprio does in the next 30 minutes will shock this entitled daughter to her core. It will make national headlines. And it will remind everyone watching that in America, nobody is above the law. Not even the police chief's daughter. The morning started like any other Tuesday. The courtroom filled with people who made mistakes. Some big, some small. Traffic violations mostly. Expired registrations. Parking tickets that piled up. The kinds of problems regular people face when money is tight and life gets complicated. The bailiff calls out case number 2025, TR 91847. The state versus Vanessa Marie Hartwell. Judge Caprio looks at his notes. He adjusts his glasses. Good morning, Miss Hartwell. Please step forward. Before Vanessa even moves, there's another person already at the podium. A woman in her early 50s. Her name is Linda Chun. She wears scrubs. The blue kind that nurses wear. They're wrinkled, like she came here straight from a night shift. Her eyes have dark circles under them. The kind you get from working too many hours and sleeping too few. Linda is here because of parking tickets. 3 of them. She got them while parked outside Providence General Hospital. Her car sat in a spot marked no parking, emergency vehicles only. She knew it was wrong. She did it anyway, because the regular parking lot was full, and her shift started in 3 minutes. And if she was late one more time, her supervisor said she'd face discipline. Maybe even termination. So she parked where she shouldn't have. 3 different times. 3 tickets. Each one costs $150. That's $450 total. For Linda, that's groceries for a month. That's her electric bill. That's the copay for her mother's medication. Judge Caprio looks at her file. Mrs. Chun, I see you're a registered nurse at Providence General. How long have you worked there? 17 years, Your Honor. Her voice is quiet, respectful. I work the overnight shift, 11 at night until 7 in the morning. And these parking violations, you understand why you received them? Yes, Your Honor. I parked in an emergency zone. I shouldn't have done it. Her voice cracks a little. The parking situation at the hospital is really difficult. There aren't enough spots for staff. And I was running late. I know that's not an excuse. I'm sorry. The judge nods. He's heard stories like this before. Good people making small mistakes because the system makes it hard to do everything right. We'll get to your case in a moment, Mrs. Chun. Please stand to the side. That's when Vanessa enters. She pushes through the courtroom doors like she's walking into a shopping mall. Her heels click on the floor. Loud, deliberate. She's wearing a white blazer over a designer t-shirt. The kind of casual expensive look that says, I have money, but I'm too cool to look like I'm trying. Her jeans probably cost $300. They have artful rips in them. Rips that someone in a factory carefully placed. Her bag is Prada real Prada, not a knockoff. The kind with the triangle logo in polished metal. She has her phone in her hand. Her thumb moves across the screen. She's texting someone, or scrolling, or doing whatever people do when they're too important to pay attention to where they are. Miss Hartwell, Judge Caprio says. His voice is patient but firm. Please put your phone away and approach the bench. Vanessa looks up. She seems annoyed, like someone just interrupted her favorite song. Give me 1 second, she says. She doesn't say, Your Honor. She doesn't say, please. She finishes whatever she's doing on her phone. Then she slides it into her purse. Then she walks forward. She doesn't walk to the podium. She walks past it, like it doesn't apply to her. She stops about 2 feet from a judge's bench, closer than you're supposed to stand. In her heels, she's almost at eye level with him. People in the courtroom shift in their seats. This isn't normal. You don't approach a judge like that. You stand at the podium. You wait to be addressed. You show respect. Judge Caprio notices. Of course he notices. But he keeps his voice calm. Miss Hartwell, please step back to the podium. She rolls her eyes. Actually rolls them. Then she takes 2 steps back. Not to the podium. Just 2 steps. Better, she asks. There's sarcasm in her voice. The courtroom clerk looks at the bailiff. The bailiff's hand moves slightly. Not threatening. Just ready. Just in case. Miss Hartwell, you're here today for multiple traffic violations. According to the police report, you were stopped on Waterman Street on the evening of March 15th. The officer clocked you going 63 miles per hour in a 35-mile-per-hour zone. Is that correct? If that's what the report says. She shrugs. I wasn't really paying attention to my speed. The officer also notes that you ran a red light at the intersection of Waterman and Hope Street. Do you recall that? Maybe. The light was probably yellow. The officer's report says it was red for approximately 2 seconds before you entered the intersection. Officers make mistakes. She examines her nails. They're done in expensive gel polish. Pale pink with tiny crystals. They're human, right? Judge Caprio looks at her. Really looks at her. He's been a judge for over 30 years. He's seen thousands of defendants. Rich ones. Poor ones. Scared ones. Defiant ones. But there's something about Vanessa that's different. She's not just confident. She's not just unafraid. She's acting like this entire proceeding is beneath her. Like it's an inconvenience. Like she's doing everyone a favor just by showing up. Miss Hartwell, I want to make sure you understand the seriousness of these charges. Excessive speeding in a residential zone. Running a red light. These aren't minor infractions. You could have hurt someone. But I didn't. She says it like that makes everything okay. Nobody got hurt. So what's the big deal? The big deal is that you broke the law. Multiple laws. And you put other people at risk. I'm a good driver. I've been driving since I was 16. Never had an accident. Judge Caprio looks at the file again. According to your driving record, you've had 5 speeding tickets in the past 3 years. 2 were dismissed. 1 you paid. 2 are still pending in other jurisdictions. Yeah, and like I said, I've never had an accident. That proves I know what I'm doing. A man in the gallery shakes his head. An older woman whispers to the person next to her. Linda Chun, still standing to the side, watches with wide eyes. She can't believe what she's hearing. Miss Hartwell, having tickets doesn't prove you're a good driver. It proves the opposite. It shows a pattern of disregarding traffic laws. Or it shows that cops like to meet their quotas. She smiles. Not a nice smile. A knowing smile. Everybody knows how it works. The temperature in the room seems to drop. Did she really just say that? Did she really just accuse police officers of writing tickets just to meet quotas? In front of a judge? In open court? And here's the thing. Here's the detail that makes it so much worse. Her father isn't just any police chief. He's the police chief. The man in charge of every officer she just insulted. The man responsible for the integrity of the entire police department. Judge Caprio sets down his pen. He folds his hands. Miss Hartwell, I want you to think very carefully about what you just said. You're suggesting that police officers in this city are corrupt, that they write false tickets. Is that your position? I'm just saying what everyone knows. She shifts her weight. Come on. Quotas are real. Officers need to write a certain number of tickets. So they pull people over for going 5 miles over the limit. It's revenue generation. Everyone knows that. And you're saying that's what happened to you. I'm saying it's possible. Judge Caprio picks up the police report. Let me read you something. This is from Officer Marcus Webb. He's been with the Providence Police Department for 12 years. He writes, I observed the vehicle, a white BMW X5, traveling at a high rate of speed on Waterman Street. Using LiDAR equipment, I confirmed the vehicle was traveling at 63 miles per hour in a posted 35 mile per hour zone. This is a residential area with multiple schools and parks. The driver showed no attempt to slow down. At the intersection of Waterman and Hope, the traffic signal had been red for approximately 2 seconds when the vehicle entered the intersection without stopping. I initiated a traffic stop. The driver initially did not pull over, continuing for approximately 3 blocks before stopping. Vanessa waves her hand. Dismissive. I didn't hear the siren right away. I had my music on. Officer Webb also notes, when I approached the vehicle, the driver was confrontational. She stated, and I quote, "Do you know who my father is? He's your boss's boss. You're making a mistake." The courtroom goes quiet. Not the normal quiet. The kind of quiet where everyone holds their breath. "Did you say that, Miss Hartwell?" She doesn't answer right away. Her jaw tightens. "I might have mentioned my father." "You mentioned him because you thought it would make the officer not give you a ticket." "I mentioned him because it's true. My dad is Police Chief Robert Hartwell. Officer Webb works for the Providence Police Department. My father is the chief of that department. That's just a fact." "It's a fact you mentioned to try to intimidate an officer." "I didn't intimidate anyone. I just stated a fact." Judge Caprio writes something down. His face doesn't show emotion, but his hand moves firmly across the page. Let's continue. Officer Webb states that after he explained the violations, he said, quote, "Give me the ticket. My father will take care of it." "Did you say that?" "I don't remember my exact words." "But you expected your father to make this go away." "I expected my father to review the situation fairly." "To review it? As the police chief?" "Yes." "Miss Hartwell, do you understand that what you're describing is an attempt to use your family connection to avoid consequences?" "That's not what I said." "That's exactly what you said." She crosses her arms tighter. Her face is getting red. Not from embarrassment. From anger. "I want to speak to my attorney." "You're welcome to have an attorney present." "Do you have one?" "Not here. But I can call one." "You've had several weeks since your citation to arrange for legal counsel. Did you choose not to do so?" "I didn't think I'd need one. I thought this would be quick." "You thought you'd walk in, pay a fine, and leave?" "Basically, yeah." Judge Caprio leans back in his chair. He's quiet for a moment, just looking at her, studying her, trying to understand how someone gets to age 26 and thinks the world works this way, trying to figure out if there's any awareness behind those eyes, any understanding that actions have consequences, that laws apply to everyone, that being the police chief's daughter doesn't make you special. He doesn't see it. Not yet. All he sees is entitlement. All he sees is privilege that's been fed and watered and grown into something ugly. "Let me ask you something, Miss Hartwell. That woman standing over there." He gestures to Linda Chun. "Do you know why she's here today?" Vanessa glances at Linda. Barely glances. Like looking at her is an effort. "No. Her name is Linda Chun. She's a nurse. She works overnight shifts at Providence General Hospital. She has 3 parking tickets. She got them parking in an emergency zone because the employee parking lot was full and she was running late for work. Those 3 tickets total $450. For her, that's a significant amount of money. She came here today on her day off, after working a 12-hour shift, because she respects this court and wants to take responsibility. Do you see a difference between her situation and yours?" Vanessa shrugs. "I guess she shouldn't have parked in an emergency zone." Several people in the gallery gasp. Someone says, "Oh my God," quietly. Linda's eyes fill with tears. She looks down at her hands. Judge Caprio's expression hardens. "Mrs. Chun parked illegally because she was trying to get to work on time so she could take care of sick patients. You drove 28 miles over the speed limit and ran a red light in a residential neighborhood because you felt like it. And you think those are comparable. I'm just saying we both broke the law. She shouldn't get special treatment because she's a nurse. Nobody is asking for special treatment. She's asking for fairness. She's asking for understanding. She's taking responsibility. You, on the other hand, are making excuses. You're blaming the police. You're invoking your father's position. You're showing zero remorse." "I said I was sorry." "When? When did you say that?" Vanessa opens her mouth, closes it. She didn't say it. She knows she didn't say it. Everyone in the courtroom knows she didn't say it. "Your Honor," she says, and it's the first time she's used those words. "Can we just get this over with? What's my fine? I'll pay it right now. I have my credit card." You think this is about money? Isn't it always? And there it is. The second major insult. She just implied that the court system is about revenue, about collecting fines, about money instead of justice. Judge Caprio stands up. He doesn't usually stand, but he stands now. The bailiff stands straighter too. The whole room feels the shift. "Miss Hartwell, you need to understand something. This court is not a cash register. I am not here to process your credit card payment and send you on your way. I am here to uphold the law, to ensure public safety, to teach people that their actions have meaning and consequences. When you speed through a residential neighborhood at nearly twice the speed limit, you're not just breaking a rule. You're endangering lives. Children walk those streets. Families live there. And when you run a red light, you're gambling with other people's safety. You're saying your time, your convenience, your desire to get where you're going is more important than everyone else's right to be safe. I get it. I'll be more careful. Will you? Because your record suggests otherwise. 5 tickets in 3 years. Multiple dismissals. And now you're here, showing no remorse, making excuses, and expecting your family name to protect you. My family name has nothing to do with this. Then why did you mention your father to Officer Webb? I was upset. People say things when they're upset. What you said was a threat. It wasn't a threat. It was a fact. A fact you stated to intimidate an officer into not doing his job. Vanessa's face is fully red now. Her hands are clenched. You're twisting my words. I'm reading them from an official police report. Officer Webb is lying then. The courtroom erupts. Not loudly, but you can hear it. The sharp intakes of breath. The whispers. The shifting in seats. She just accused a police officer of lying. In court. Under oath. His report is a sworn statement. She just called him a liar. The bailiff takes a step forward. Just one step. But it's a clear message. Calm down. Watch yourself. Judge Caprio raises his hand. Everyone please remain calm. He looks at Vanessa. His eyes are sharp now. No more patience. No more gentle guidance. Miss Hartwell, you just made a very serious accusation. You're saying Officer Webb filed false report. That's a crime. Are you prepared to stand by that statement? She realizes she went too far. You can see it on her face. The color drains a little. Her eyes dart to the side. I'm not saying he lied. I'm saying maybe he misheard me. He misheard you saying, "Do you know who my father is?" Maybe I didn't say it exactly like that. How did you say it then? I don't remember. You don't remember. But you're sure Officer Webb is wrong. I'm just saying people remember things differently. Judge Caprio sits back down. He picks up a piece of paper. Miss Hartwell, I have something else here. This is a record of phone calls made to this courthouse over the past 2 weeks. 3 calls came from the office of Police Chief Robert Hartwell. 2 were from his direct line. 1 was from his administrative assistant. All 3 calls asked about case number 2025, TR 91847. Your case. Do you know anything about these calls? Vanessa's face goes pale. My father might have called to ask about my court date. To ask about your court date. Not to inquire about the charges. Not to verify the time. To ask about the case itself. What information he could get. What the likely outcome would be. I don't know what he asked. I wasn't there. But you knew he called. She doesn't answer. That's an answer itself. Let me read you what his assistant said. Quote, Chief Hartwell wants to know if there's any way this matter can be handled administratively. He's willing to personally ensure his daughter completes any required traffic school or community service. He hopes Judge Caprio will take their family's service to the community into consideration. Does that sound familiar? My dad was just trying to help. Your dad was trying to interfere with a court case. He was trying to be a good father. A good father teaches their children to take responsibility. He doesn't call the court to make special arrangements. He has connections. Why shouldn't he use them? And there it is. The nuclear moment. The quote that will define this entire case. The sentence that reveals everything you need to know about how Vanessa sees the world. Why shouldn't he use them? Judge Caprio repeats slowly. You're asking me why someone shouldn't use their position of power to interfere with the justice system. I'm saying everyone does it. People with connections use them. That's how the world works. That's how you think the world works. That's how it does work. Come on, Your Honor. You've been a judge for a long time. You know how things really operate. People with money and power get different treatment. That's just reality. The courtroom is dead silent. You could drop a pin, and everyone would hear it hit the floor. Judge Caprio stares at her. For 5 seconds. 10 seconds. 15 seconds. Nobody moves. Nobody speaks. The clock on the wall ticks. Each second feels like an hour. So that's what you believe, he finally says. His voice is soft. Dangerously soft. You believe that justice is for sale. That the law applies differently depending on who you know. That your father's position makes you special. That you deserve different treatment because of your last name. I'm not saying. Yes, you are. You're saying exactly that. You're standing in my courtroom, in front of all these people, and you're admitting that you think the system is corrupt. And you think you should benefit from that corruption. I didn't say corrupt. What word would you use? I'd say practical. Realistic. Practical. You think it's practical for a police chief's daughter to speed through residential neighborhoods and run red lights and face no consequences. I didn't say no consequences. I'm here, aren't I? You're here expecting a slap on the wrist. You're here expecting to pay a fine and leave. You're here because you have to be, not because you think you did something wrong. I broke some traffic laws. It's not like I hurt anyone. You didn't hurt anyone yet. But what about next time? What about the time after that? How many times can you drive recklessly before someone gets hurt? Before someone's child runs into the street and you're going too fast to stop? Before you run a red light and slam into someone's car? That won't happen. I'm a careful driver. Careful drivers don't get 5 speeding tickets in 3 years. Those were mistakes. 5 mistakes. 5 separate occasions where you made the same mistake. That's not mistakes. That's a pattern. That's a choice. Vanessa's lawyer finally stands up. He's been sitting in the front row this whole time. A man in his 50s wearing an expensive suit. The kind of lawyer you can afford when your dad is the police chief. Your Honor, if I may. No, Counselor, you may not. Your client has been speaking for herself quite well. Unless she's requesting your representation right now. The lawyer looks at Vanessa. She shakes her head. She thinks she can handle this herself. She still thinks she can talk her way out. She still doesn't understand how much trouble she's in. The lawyer sits back down. He looks worried. He should be. Judge Caprio opens a folder. Miss Hartwell, I want to show you something. This is Officer Webb's body camera footage from your traffic stop. We're going to play it for everyone here. A screen lowers from the ceiling. The lights dim slightly. The footage begins. You see the dashboard of a police car. The speedometer. The LiDAR gun showing 63 miles per hour. Then the white BMW comes into view. It's flying. Actually flying down the street. Way too fast. The officer activates his lights and siren. The BMW doesn't stop. Not right away. It keeps going for 3 blocks. Finally it pulls over. Officer Webb approaches the driver's window. His body camera captures everything. Vanessa's face appears on screen. She has her sunglasses on even though it's evening. She doesn't roll down her window all the way. Just a crack. Good evening, ma'am. Do you know why I stopped you? Not really. Her voice is bored. Annoyed. You were traveling 63 miles per hour in a 35 zone. And you ran the red light at Waterman and Hope. The light was yellow. Ma'am, I have it on camera. The light was red. Whatever. Just give me the ticket. I need to see your license, registration, and insurance. She throws her license at him. Actually throws it. It hits the officer's hand and falls to the ground. He bends down to pick it up. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to be respectful. I am being respectful. You're the one harassing me. I'm not harassing you. I stopped you for legitimate traffic violations. Do you know who my father is? No, ma'am. He's Police Chief Robert Hartwell. He's your boss. Your boss's boss. You're making a big mistake right now. Ma'am, I don't care who your father is. You broke the law. Give me the ticket. My father will take care of it. He always does. The footage continues. Vanessa refuses to sign the ticket. Officer Webb explains that refusing to sign isn't an admission of guilt, it's just acknowledging receipt. She still refuses. He explains that refusal to sign can result in arrest. Finally, she scribbles something on the signature line. The officer hands her a copy. She crumples it up and throws it on her passenger seat. Then she speeds off. The engine revs. The tires squeal a little. The video ends. The lights come back up. The courtroom is silent again. Everyone just watched Vanessa lie. They heard her say the light was red, watched her claim it was yellow. They heard her invoke her father's position. They saw her disrespect the officer. They watched her admit that her father always takes care of her tickets. Vanessa's face is bright red. She stares at the floor. Miss Hartwell. Judge Caprio's voice cuts through the silence. You just watched yourself commit several violations beyond the original speeding and red light. You threw your license at an officer. You refused to cooperate. You threatened him with your father's position. You admitted that your father has made previous tickets disappear. And then you drove away recklessly, squealing your tires in what appears to be anger or retaliation. Do you have anything to say? That video doesn't show everything. It shows enough. It shows a young woman who believes she's above the law, who thinks her family name is a shield, who treats police officers with contempt. And here's the irony, Miss Hartwell. Your father is the chief of police, the man who leads by example, the man who's supposed to represent integrity and honor. And his daughter acts like this. How do you think that makes him look? Don't bring my father into this. You brought your father into this. You brought him into it the moment you said, "Do you know who my father is?" to Officer Webb. You brought him into it when he called this court 3 times. Your father is absolutely part of this now. He was just trying to protect me. From what? From the consequences of your own actions. From people like you who want to make an example of me because of who I am. The words hang in the air. People like you. She just insulted the judge. Directly. To his face. The bailiff moves closer. His hand is near his radio. Judge Caprio doesn't react. Not outwardly. But you can see something change in his eyes. A decision being made. A line being crossed that can't be uncrossed. Miss Hartwell, I want to tell you something. I've been a municipal court judge for over 30 years. I've seen thousands of defendants. Rich ones. Poor ones. Young ones. Old ones. People who made genuine mistakes. People who made terrible choices. And do you know what the difference is? The difference is remorse. It's accountability. It's looking me in the eye and saying, "I messed up. I'm sorry. I'll do better." That's what separates people who deserve a second chance from people who don't. He pauses. Lets that sink in. You haven't said you're sorry. Not once. You haven't admitted you did anything wrong. You've blamed the officer. You've blamed the system. You've invoked your father's position. You've suggested that everyone is corrupt and you're just playing the same game. You haven't shown one single moment of remorse or understanding or growth. And that tells me everything I need to know. So what? You're going to throw the book at me because I didn't kiss your ass? The courtroom explodes. Not physically, but emotionally. People stand up. Voices rise. The bailiff shouts for order. The lawyer shoots to his feet and grabs Vanessa's arm, trying to pull her back from the podium. But Vanessa shakes him off. She's fully committed now. Fully in it. She can't stop herself. That's what this is about, right? You want me to grovel. You want me to cry and beg and act all pathetic like everyone else who comes through here. Well, I'm not going to do it. I made some mistakes. Big deal. Everyone makes mistakes. Mine just happened to be traffic violations. I'll pay the fine. Just tell me how much and let me go. Judge Caprio stands again. This time he doesn't sit back down. Bailiff, please take Miss Hartwell into custody. The courtroom gasps. Actually gasps. Loud enough that everyone hears it. What? Vanessa's face goes from red to white in an instant. You can't do that. I can and I am. You're being held in contempt of court for your behavior, your disrespect, and your complete disregard for these proceedings. This is insane. I'm leaving. She turns toward the door. If you walk out of this courtroom, you will be arrested. Bailiff. The bailiff moves quickly. He's next to Vanessa in 3 steps. His hand is on her arm. Gentle but firm. Ma'am, please don't resist. Get your hands off me. Do you know who I am? Yes, ma'am. Right now, you're someone being held in contempt of court. My father will have your job for this. All of your jobs. Another officer enters from the side door. Between the 2 of them, they guide Vanessa toward the bailiff's desk. She's not handcuffed yet, but she's not leaving either. Let me go. This is false arrest. This is abuse of power. Judge Caprio's voice cuts through her shouting. Miss Hartwell, I strongly suggest you stop talking. Every word you say right now is making your situation worse. Worse? How can it get worse? You're arresting me for traffic tickets. I'm holding you in contempt for your behavior in my courtroom. The traffic violations are separate charges. And based on what I've seen today, based on the evidence presented, based on your own words and actions, I'm going to address all of it. Right now. The lawyer finally speaks up. Your Honor, I request a recess so I can speak with my client. Request denied. Your client had multiple opportunities to retain counsel before today. She chose not to. She chose to represent herself. She chose to speak. Now, she gets to face the consequences of those choices. Vanessa is breathing hard. Panicking. You can see it setting in. The realization. This is really happening. She can't talk her way out. Her father can't call someone. Her last name doesn't matter. She's in actual trouble. Your Honor, please. Her voice is different now. Smaller. Scared. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. You meant every word. Don't insult this court further by pretending otherwise. Judge Caprio looks down at his notes, at the police report, at the body camera footage still frozen on the screen, at Vanessa standing between two officers, her designer purse still on her shoulder, her expensive shoes still on her feet, her whole privileged life crashing down around her. Vanessa Marie Hartwell, he begins. His voice is formal now. Official. This is judgment being rendered. You came before this court today charged with excessive speeding and running a red light. Those are serious violations. But what happened in this courtroom today goes far beyond traffic charges. You have shown contempt for the law, for this court, for law enforcement officers, and for the judicial process itself. You have attempted to use your father's position to avoid accountability. You have insulted the integrity of this court and everyone in it. You have admitted to a pattern of reckless driving. You have shown zero remorse and zero understanding of the danger you pose to others. He pauses, looks directly at her. But here's what concerns me most. You seem to believe that justice is something different for you than it is for everyone else. You look at Linda Chun over there, a hard-working nurse who made a mistake parking her car, and you see someone who broke the law, just like you did. You don't see the difference. You don't see that she takes responsibility, that she showed up with respect, that she understands what she did wrong. You think because you both broke rules, you're the same. But you're not the same. Not even close. Vanessa is crying now. Real tears. Her mascara is running. Her hands are shaking. Linda Chun parked in the wrong spot because she was trying to help people. You drove recklessly because you felt like it. She came here humble and respectful. You came here arrogant and entitled. She understands consequences. You think you're immune to them. That's the difference. That's what matters. The judge looks at his notes again. Here's what's going to happen. And I want you to listen very carefully because I'm only saying this once. The courtroom is so quiet you can hear the heating system humming. For the charge of speeding 63 in a 35 zone, you are fined $2,000. For running the red light, you are fined $1,000. For refusal to cooperate with a police officer, an additional $500. For attempted intimidation of an officer, an additional $2,000. That's a total of $5,500 in fines. Those are due in full within 30 days. Vanessa's mouth opens. $5,500. It's way more than normal traffic fines. Way more. Your license is suspended for 6 months effective immediately. You will surrender it to the bailiff before you leave this building. During that 6 months, you are not to drive any vehicle for any reason. If you're caught driving, you'll face criminal charges. He continues. His voice is steady, measured, like he's reading items off a list. But each item is a hammer blow. You will complete 250 hours of community service. And here's what that service will be. You will work as a volunteer at Providence General Hospital, the same hospital where Linda Chun works. You will work in the emergency department. You will see what happens when people drive recklessly. You will clean up after accidents. You will comfort families whose loved ones were hurt or killed by speeding drivers. You will do the jobs that nobody wants to do. The cleaning, the restocking, the grunt work. And you will do it wearing a vest that says Community Service, Traffic Offender, on the back. You can't make me. Yes, I can. That's the sentence. If you refuse, you'll face jail time instead. Your choice. Her lawyer touches her shoulder, quietly tells her to be silent. She is. Barely. You will report to the hospital every Saturday and Sunday from 6 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. That's 8 hours per day. 2 days per week. That's 16 hours per week. At that rate, it will take you approximately 16 weeks to complete your hours. For months. Your service will be supervised by the hospital's volunteer coordinator, and you will receive no special treatment. You will follow all rules and regulations. You will show up on time. You will work the entire shift. Any unexcused absence will result in additional hours being added to your sentence. Vanessa is fully crying now, sobbing. Her shoulders shake. Her breath comes in gasps. Additionally, you will write a 2,000-word essay on the importance of traffic laws and how reckless driving affects communities. You will write it by hand. No computers. No voice dictation. Your own handwriting. and you will read it aloud in this courtroom at your review hearing in 4 months. The essay will not be written by your lawyer or anyone else. It will be your words. If I detect that someone else wrote it, you'll write another one, and another one after that until you produce something genuine. He turns a page in his notes. You will also issue a public apology to Officer Marcus Webb, in person, at police headquarters, in front of his colleagues. You will apologize for disrespecting him, for trying to intimidate him, and for suggesting he's corrupt. That apology will be sincere and specific. You will acknowledge exactly what you did wrong. If Officer Webb or the department feels your apology is insufficient, you'll do it again. Your Honor, please. I'm not finished. You will attend a victim impact panel. This is a program where people who've been affected by reckless driving share their stories. You will sit and listen to mothers who lost children, to people who were paralyzed in crashes, to families tore apart because someone thought traffic laws didn't apply to them. You will attend 3 separate sessions, and you will write a 1-page reflection after each session. Again, in your own handwriting. Again, in your own words. Vanessa can barely stand. The bailiff helps steady her. You are also prohibited from contacting Officer Webb outside of the official apology. You are prohibited from posting anything about this case on social media. You are prohibited from discussing this case in any public forum except as required by your sentence. If I see a tweet, a Facebook post, a TikTok video, anything where you mock this process or play the victim, you'll face additional contempt charges. He looks at her lawyer. Counselor, I trust you'll explain all of this to your client in detail. The lawyer nods. Yes, Your Honor. And finally, for your contempt of court charges today. For your disrespect, your insults, your complete failure to show this court the dignity it deserves. I sentence you to 15 days in the county jail, consecutive to all other penalties. You will surrender yourself to the jail within 48 hours. You will serve the full 15 days. No early release. No work release. You'll experience what it's like to have your freedom taken away. Maybe then you'll understand that laws matter, that respect matters, that you're not special. The courtroom erupts again, this time with murmurs of approval. Someone claps, then someone else, then a few more people. The judge doesn't stop them. Not right away. Vanessa collapses. Actually collapses. She would hit the floor if the bailiff wasn't holding her up. She's wailing now. Full breakdown. No, 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 no. Please. Please, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't do this. Where was that remorse 20 minutes ago? Where was it when you had chance after chance to apologize? Where was it when you called my courtroom corrupt? When you insulted Officer Webb? When you threw your privilege around like a weapon? I was scared. I didn't know what to say. You knew exactly what to say. You chose not to say it. You chose to be arrogant. You chose to be disrespectful. Now you live with those choices. Her lawyer is whispering urgently to her, trying to calm her down, trying to get her to stop talking before she makes it worse. But she can't stop. She's spiraling. My father will never allow this. He'll appeal. He'll go over your head. He'll do nothing, because your father is a good man who understands the law. And if he tries to interfere with this sentence, he'll find himself in my courtroom answering for it. I guarantee you that. Judge Caprio gestures to the bailiff. Remove Miss Hartwell from the courtroom. Process her for the contempt charge. She has 48 hours to surrender for her jail sentence. The bailiff and the other officer guide Vanessa toward the side door. She's still crying, still protesting. Her voice echoes down the hallway. This isn't fair. This isn't fair. Someone help me, please. The door closes. The sound cuts off. The courtroom is still. Everyone processing what just happened. The police chief's daughter, sentenced to jail, to community service, to public humiliation, because she thought she was above the law. Judge Caprio turns to Linda Chun. She's still standing there, still in her wrinkled scrubs, still exhausted from her shift, still waiting. Mrs. Chun, he says, and his voice is gentle again. Patient again. I apologize for the delay. Let's address your case now. She steps forward, nervous. Yes, Your Honor. I've reviewed your parking violations. I see that you work overnight shifts at the hospital. I see that parking is limited. I understand the difficulty. However, parking in an emergency zone creates a genuine safety hazard. If an ambulance needs that space, every second counts. You understand that? Yes, Your Honor. I do. It was wrong. I won't do it again. I believe you. Here's what I'm going to do. The 3 tickets total $450. I'm reducing that to $150. $50 per ticket. Does that seem fair? Linda's eyes fill with tears. But these are different tears. Grateful tears. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Thank you so much. You can pay today at the clerk's office or set up a payment plan if needed. And Mrs. Chun, thank you for your service. Healthcare workers like you make this community better. I appreciate everything you do. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. She wipes her eyes. She smiles. A real smile. Probably her first smile all day. She walks toward the clerk's office, lighter somehow. Like a weight lifted off. Judge Caprio looks at the rest of the courtroom. Let this be a lesson to everyone here. In this court, it doesn't matter who your parents are. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what kind of car you drive or what neighborhood you live in. The law is the law. Respect is respect. Accountability is accountability. Those things are equal for everyone. He gathers his papers. We'll take a 15-minute recess. Then we'll continue with the remaining cases. He stands. Everyone stands with him. He exits through the door behind the bench. The courtroom slowly empties. People whisper to each other, shake their heads, pull out their phones. Within minutes, the story will start spreading. The police chief's daughter. What she said. What happened to her. It'll be all over social media by lunch. National news by dinner. In a holding cell somewhere in the building, Vanessa sits on a metal bench. Her Prada purse is on the floor next to her. Her designer clothes feel suddenly ridiculous. Her jewelry feels heavy. She stopped crying. Now she just stares at the wall. For the first time in her life, her last name didn't protect her. Her father's position didn't matter. Her money didn't help. She's just another person who broke the law and has to face the consequences. It's a feeling she's never experienced before. And it's terrifying. 2 months later, on a Saturday morning at 6 a.m., Vanessa walks into Providence General Hospital. She's wearing jeans and a plain t-shirt. No jewelry. No design or anything. Her hair is in a simple ponytail. She's carrying a brown bag with her lunch. Peanut butter sandwich. Apple. Water bottle. She reports to the volunteer coordinator's office. A woman named Margaret greets her. Margaret is kind but firm. She's seen court-ordered volunteers before. Some take it seriously. Some don't. She's waiting to see which category Vanessa falls into. You're here for community service. Margaret asks. Yes, ma'am. Follow me. She leads Vanessa through the hospital, through hallways that smell like disinfectant and suffering, past rooms where people are sick or dying, past waiting rooms full of worried families, past doctors and nurses moving quickly, purposefully trying to save lives. They reach the emergency department. Margaret hands Vanessa a bright yellow vest. Community service. Traffic offender is printed on the back in large black letters. You'll wear this at all times while you're here. Put it on. Vanessa puts it on. It's humiliating. Everyone who sees her will know she's here because she broke the law, because a judge sent her, because she's not choosing to be here. Your job today is to restock supplies, clean equipment, and assist the staff in any way they need. You'll take direction from whoever's on shift. You don't argue. You don't complain. You do what you're told. Understood? Yes, ma'am. Good. Come with me. The shift is brutal. Vanessa empties trash cans full of bloody bandages. She mops floors where patients vomited. She restocks shelves with medical supplies she doesn't recognize. Her feet hurt. Her back hurts. She's exhausted by hour 3. At one point, a trauma comes in. A car accident. 2 vehicles collided at an intersection. The driver who ran the red light is being wheeled in. He's screaming. His leg is bent at a wrong angle. Blood everywhere. Behind him, on another gurney, is the person he hit. A woman in her 30s. She's unconscious. The doctors are shouting instructions. Nurses are moving fast. There's chaos and blood and terror. Vanessa stands frozen, watching, understanding, maybe for the first time, what her reckless driving could have caused. She ran a red light too. She could have created this scene. She could have been responsible for this pain. A nurse pushes past her. Move. Get out of the way. Vanessa moves. She stands against the wall. She watches them fight to save lives. She sees the man's wife arrive, screaming, crying, asking if he's okay. She sees the other woman's husband arrive, holding a car seat with a baby inside, his face white with shock. This is what happens when people think traffic laws don't matter. This is the real consequence. Not tickets. Not fines. This. Pain. Suffering. Death. After the trauma is stabilized, and the patients are taken to surgery, Margaret finds Vanessa. You okay? Yeah. I'm okay. First time seeing something like that. Yes. You'll see more. That's why you're here. To understand what your choices could have caused. Vanessa nods. She can't speak. Her throat is too tight. The weeks pass. Every Saturday and Sunday. 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Vanessa shows up. Sometimes she's late and has to add extra hours. Sometimes she calls in sick and Margaret tells her that's unexcused, add more hours. But mostly she shows up. She does the work. She sees things. She sees a teenager who is texting while driving, paralyzed from the waist down, crying because he'll never walk again. She sees a drunk driver who killed a family of 4. He survived with minor injuries. The guilt on his face is worse than any physical pain. She sees a mother who was speeding to get home to her kids. She didn't make it. Her children are orphans now. Each case is a mirror. Each one shows her what could have happened. What might still happen if she doesn't change. Linda Chin sees her one day. Vanessa is mopping a hallway. Linda is heading to her shift. They make eye contact. For a moment, neither speaks. Then Linda nods. Just a small nod. Acknowledgement. Maybe even respect. Vanessa is here. Doing the work. That means something. Vanessa nods back. She doesn't try to talk. She doesn't apologize. She just keeps mopping. There's plenty of time for words later. Right now, the work speaks for itself. 3 months in, Vanessa goes to the police headquarters. It's a Tuesday afternoon. She's wearing simple clothes. She's carrying a handwritten letter. Her apology to Officer Webb. She meets him in a conference room. His sergeant is there. So is a representative from a police union. So is the deputy chief. They want witnesses. They want to make sure this is real. Officer Webb sits across from her. He's in uniform. Professional. Calm. Vanessa unfolds her letter. Her hands shake. Officer Webb, I'm here to apologize to you. For how I treated you during the traffic stop. For the things I said. For trying to intimidate you with my father's position. For disrespecting you and your job. She continues, reading from her letter, but also speaking from her heart. I was wrong. I thought because of who my father is, I could act any way I wanted. I thought I was above the rules. I thought you were just a cop trying to meet a quota, or cause trouble for me. But you were doing your job. You were trying to keep people safe. And I made that harder. I insulted you. I called you corrupt. I tried to use my family name as a weapon against you. Her voice cracks. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. I've spent the last 3 months working in the emergency department at the hospital. I've seen what happens when people drive the way I drove. I've seen the pain and the suffering and the death. You were trying to prevent that. And I attacked you for it. That was wrong. I was wrong. And I'm sorry. Officer Webb listens. His expression doesn't change much. He's heard apologies before. Some real. Some fake. He's deciding which this is. I accept your apology, he finally says. But I want you to understand something. When you invoke your father's name that night, you put me in an impossible position. If I gave you the ticket, I risked retaliation from up the chain. If I didn't give you the ticket, I'd be corrupt. You created a no-win situation for me because you thought your name mattered more than the law. I know. I'm sorry. Your father is a good man. A good chief. You dishonored him that night. You dishonored every officer who works under him by suggesting we're all corrupt. That we all play favorites. Most of us are just trying to do the right thing. Keep people safe. Go home to our families at the end of the shift. Your words made that harder. I know. And I'm sorry. Okay. He stands. Extends his hand. Apology accepted. Don't let me catch you speeding again. She shakes his hand. You won't. I promise. He nods. Leaves the room. The others follow. Vanessa is left alone. She sits there for a moment. Lets out a breath she didn't know she was holding. 1 step done. Many more to go. For months after her sentencing, Vanessa stands in the same courtroom where this all began. She's here for her review hearing. To prove she's completed her community service hours. To read her essay. To show the judge she's learned something. The courtroom is less crowded this time. No gallery full of curious onlookers. Just the necessary people. The judge, the clerk, the bailiff, Vanessa's lawyer, and a few others who have business with the court. Linda Chun is there, sitting in the back row. She came on her day off. To see how this ends. Judge Caprio enters. Everyone stands. He sits. Everyone sits. Case number 2025, TR 91847. Review hearing for Vanessa Hartwell. Miss Hartwell, please approach. She does. She walks to the podium. She's different. You can see it. She stands differently. Holds herself differently. The arrogance is gone. The entitlement is gone. What's left is something quieter. More real. Miss Hartwell, I have your completion certificates from Providence General Hospital. 250 hours completed. Your supervisor wrote a note. May I read it? Yes, Your Honor. He puts on his glasses. She writes, Vanessa Hartwell completed all required hours of community service. She was punctual, respectful, and hardworking. She took initiative and showed genuine care for the work. She was an asset to our team. I would recommend her for future volunteer work if she chooses to continue. That's high praise. Thank you, Your Honor. I also have confirmation that you attended 3 victim impact panels and completed the required reflections. And Officer Webb confirmed that you delivered your apology in person and that he accepted it. So all the requirements are fulfilled except one. You owe this court an essay. Do you have it? Yes, Your Honor. She pulls out several handwritten pages. Her handwriting. Her words. Please read it aloud. She takes a breath. Begins. For months ago, I stood in this courtroom and embarrassed myself. I embarrassed my family. I showed the worst parts of who I was. I blamed everyone but myself. I thought I was special. I thought the rules didn't apply to me because of who my father is. I was wrong. She continues reading. Her essay talks about what she learned at the hospital, about the trauma cases she witnessed, about the families torn apart by reckless driving, about the moment she realized that her actions could have caused that same pain. I thought traffic laws were just rules, suggestions, things that inconvenienced me. I didn't think about why they exist. They exist because speed kills. Running red lights kills. Reckless driving kills. Not every time. Not always. But sometimes. And that's enough. One death caused by my selfishness would be one too many. She reads about Officer Webb. About how she disrespected him and how wrong that was. About how police officers put themselves at risk every day to keep people safe and how her words undermine that. I also learned about privilege. Real privilege. I thought I was entitled to special treatment because my father worked hard and earned his position. But his accomplishments aren't mine. I didn't earn anything. I was born lucky, and I confused luck with superiority. I thought being the police chief's daughter made me better than other people. It doesn't. It just makes me luckier. And that luck comes with responsibility. To represent my father's values. To honor his work. I failed to do that, but I'm trying to do better now. She finishes the essay. Folds the pages. Looks up at the judge. Thank you, Miss Hartwell. That was well written and, I believe, sincere. I'm going to ask you one question. What's the most important thing you learned from all this? She thinks for a moment. That I'm not special. I mean, I'm special to my family and my friends, the way everyone is special to people who love them. But I'm not special to the law. I'm not special to the rules. I'm just a person. Same as everyone else. And that's how it should be. Judge Caprio nods. That's exactly right. You're not special. Your father's position doesn't make you special. Your money doesn't make you special. In the eyes of the law, you're equal to Linda Chun. You're equal to Officer Webb. You're equal to everyone. That's what justice means. Equal treatment. Equal accountability. I understand that now, Your Honor. I hope you do, because you have your whole life ahead of you. You can choose to take what you learned and become a better person. Or you can go back to who you were. That's up to you. This court can't force you to change. We can only force you to face consequences and hope you learn from them. I learned. I promise I learned. Okay, then here's my ruling. You've completed all requirements of your sentence. Your community service is fulfilled. Your license suspension will be lifted as of today. You can apply for reinstatement at the DMV. Your probation is complete. However, the convictions remain on your record. The fines still stand. And if you ever appear in my court again for similar charges, you'll face much harsher consequences. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. You're dismissed. She turns to leave, then stops, turns back. Your Honor, can I say one more thing? Go ahead. I want to keep volunteering at the hospital. Not because I have to, because I want to. Margaret said I could, if that's okay with the court. Judge Caprio smiles. A real smile. Maybe his first during this whole case. That's not up to the court, Miss Hartwell. That's up to you. But I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you, Your Honor. She leaves the courtroom. She walks past Linda Chun. Stops. Mrs. Chun, I don't know if you remember me, but I remember. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for what I said that day about you parking in the emergency zone. That was cruel and wrong. You're a good person doing important work. I had no right to judge you. Linda studies her face, looking for sincerity. Finding it. Apology accepted. I hear you've been working at the hospital. Yes, ma'am. In the emergency department. I know. People talk. They say you're doing good work. That you're respectful and hardworking. I'm glad. Everyone deserves a chance to learn and grow. Thank you. That means a lot. They nod to each other. Then Linda leaves. She has to get home. Get some sleep before her next shift. Vanessa stands in the hallway for a moment. The same hallway where, for months ago, she was led away crying and protesting. Today she's walking out on her own. Changed. Different. Better? Time will tell. But different for sure. Outside, her father is waiting. Police Chief Robert Hartwell. He's in civilian clothes. Jeans and a button-down shirt. He's leaning against his car. When he sees her, he doesn't smile. Doesn't run to hug her. He just watches her walk toward him. Dad, I watched from the back of the courtroom. Heard your essay. What did you think? I think you should have learned those lessons a long time ago. Before you embarrassed yourself. Before you embarrassed our family. Before you put people at risk with your driving. His words hurt, but they're fair. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry too. I'm sorry I protected you from consequences for so long. Every ticket I made disappear, every call I made to fix your problems, I thought I was helping you. I was hurting you. I was teaching you that actions don't have consequences. That was wrong. I failed you as a father. You didn't fail me, Dad. I did. But Judge Caprio didn't. He gave you what I should have given you years ago. Real consequences. Real accountability. And look at you now. You completed everything. You learned. You grew. I'm proud of you for that. Tears fill her eyes. Thanks, Dad. But if you ever drive recklessly again, if you ever use my name to try to get out of trouble again, if you ever disrespect a police officer or a judge or anyone else in authority again, I'll be the one testifying against you in court. Understand? I understand. Good. Let's go home. They get in the car. As they drive through the city, Vanessa looks out the window. Sees the streets differently now. Sees the crosswalks where children walk. Sees the intersections where red lights keep people safe. Sees the speed limit signs that exist for a reason. She sees the world differently. Not as a place where rules don't apply to her, but as a place where rules apply to everyone, including her. Especially her. It's a better way to see things. A truer way. And it only cost her 6 months of her life, thousands of dollars, and the worst humiliation she's ever experienced to learn it. Some lessons cost more than others. But that doesn't make them any less valuable. 6 months later, the story has mostly faded from a news cycle. Other scandals took its place. Other viral moments captured attention. Life moved on the way it always does. But in Providence, people remember. They remember the police chief's daughter who thought she was above the law. They remember Judge Frank Caprio's response. They remember justice being served equally, regardless of who your father is. The case became a teaching tool. Law schools study it as an example of judicial courage. Police academies use Officer Webb's body camera footage to train new officers on how to handle influential suspects. Traffic schools show the sentencing video to scared teenage drivers and ask, "Do you think you're special too?" And in the emergency department at Providence General Hospital, there's a volunteer who shows up every Saturday. Not because a judge ordered it, not because it looks good on a resume, but because she wants to be there. Because she learned something about service, about humility, about seeing people as people instead of obstacles. That volunteer is Vanessa Hartwell. And on her vest now, it doesn't say community service, traffic offender. It just says volunteer. Because she earned that. She earned the right to be there by choice instead of by force. Margaret, the volunteer coordinator, tells new volunteers about her sometimes. See that young woman? She started here as court-ordered service. Now, she's one of our most dedicated volunteers. Shows up every week. Never complains. Always helps. If she can change, anyone can. And Judge Frank Caprio? He continues his work. Day after day. Case after case. Traffic violations. Small crimes. The everyday problems of everyday people. He treats each case with the same care. The same fairness. The same commitment to equal justice. Because that's what judges are supposed to do. Not play favorites. Not give special treatment. Not look the other way when someone's family is powerful. Just apply the law. Equally. Fairly. For everyone. It sounds simple, but it's revolutionary. Because in a world where people with money and power often get away with things, where influence matters more than innocence, where your last name can be a shield, having someone in authority who doesn't play that game matters. It matters to people like Linda Chun, who need the system to be fair, because they have nothing else. It matters to people like Officer Webb, who need judges to back them up when they do the right thing. It matters to communities who need to believe that the law applies to everyone. And yes, it even matters to people like Vanessa Hartwell. Because sometimes the greatest kindness you can show someone is refusing to let them hide from consequences. Sometimes the most loving thing is to say, no, you're not special, and yes, you will face what you've done. That's not cruelty. That's not abuse of power. That's justice. Real justice. The kind that changes lives instead of just processing paperwork. The kind that reminds us all, no matter who we are, that we're equal under the law. That our actions matter. That consequences are real. That respect is earned, not inherited. That privilege is a responsibility, not a shield. Those are lessons everyone needs to learn. Rich or poor. Powerful or powerless. Connected or alone. And in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, everyone learns them the same way. The hard way. The real way. The way that actually sticks. Money can buy many things. Designer clothes. Expensive cars. High-priced lawyers. Access and influence and opportunity. But it cannot buy back time. It cannot undo harm. It cannot purchase respect or dignity or integrity. And in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, it definitely cannot buy justice. Because justice isn't for sale. It's a right. It belongs to everyone equally. From the nurse working overnight shifts to the police officer doing his job to the entitled daughter who thought she was above it all. That's what makes it justice. That's what makes it matter. And that's a lesson worth learning. No matter what it costs.